The theory of evolution, as it is understood today, is the result of centuries of scientific observations and discussions. It forms the foundation for understanding biological diversity on Earth and explains how species change and adapt over time through the process of natural selection, where individuals with advantageous traits have a higher survival and reproduction rate. This theory was developed in the 19th century by Charles Darwin and Alfred Russel Wallace, with Darwin's work on the origin of species in 1859 revolutionizing scientific discourse. Darwin gathered many of his key observations during a 5-year voyage aboard the HMS Beagle in 1831 to 1836. The Galapagos Islands, with their unique species, particularly inspired him to consider that living beings might change over long periods to better adapt to their environments. Darwin observed that similar species on different islands had distinct characteristics that improved their adaptation to the specific conditions of each island. These observations laid the foundation for his theory of natural selection. In 1858, Darwin received a paper from Alfred Russel Wallace, who had independently reached similar conclusions. This prompted Darwin to publish his ideas jointly with Wallace. On the Origin of Species summarized these ideas and supported them with extensive evidence from biology, geology, and other sciences. Despite the acceptance of the theory of evolution, it remains a theory that has not yet been fully proven to this day. For this reason alone, it is not only interesting, but also important to understand, analyze, and question why this is the case. The diversity and interactions in ecosystems pose a significant puzzle for the theory of evolution. A tropical rainforest, for example, is a network of organisms, plants, animals, and microbes that are in constant interaction with their environment. Many plants rely on specific pollinators, including numerous bird species, that are attracted by bright colors and specialized flower shapes. These plants need the birds for pollination to reproduce. If these pollinators disappear due to habitat loss or other changes, it can lead to a decline in plant populations, which in turn affects numerous animals that depend on those plants. This interdependence challenges the concept of slow, random selection, as it suggests that complex biological systems could not have developed in isolation or gradually, but must have depended on each other from the start. The discovery of DNA about 80 years after Darwin's On the Origin of Species enabled a deeper understanding of the genetic mechanisms behind inheritance. Darwin himself could not explain the exact mechanisms of inheritance, as the knowledge of genetics was not available in his time. The enormous complexity of DNA, particularly the precise organization of genetic information, raises the question of how new, functional genetic information could have arisen through random mutations and natural selection. A prominent point often raised is the concept of irreducible complexity. Biochemist Michael Behe argues in his book Darwin's Black Box in 1996 that certain biological systems are so complex that they could not have evolved through natural selection. Behe points to the irreducible complexity of certain biological systems, such as the bacterial flagellum, a tiny motor in bacteria made up of numerous interlocking parts. This system seems to be so intricately designed that it could not have arisen by chance. The eye is also frequently cited as a classic example. It is a highly complex organ made up of several components, including the cornea, lens, retina, and optic nerve. These components work together with remarkable precision to enable vision. How could such a complex organ have arisen through a slow, gradual process? A partially developed eye might not have provided a survival advantage, as all parts of the eye must work together for it to function at all. Human anatomy in general, particularly the complexity of the brain, also presents a mystery. The brain controls all bodily functions and enables complex cognitive processes. It is a highly specialized organ that, according to Darwin's theory of evolution, evolved from the simple nervous systems of more primitive organisms. How could these primitive systems have gradually developed into such a complex organ as the human brain? Each step in this development would have required precise coordination between the brain's structure and other bodily functions. Moreover, there is the problem of missing transitional forms in the fossil record. While there are fossils that are interpreted as transitional forms, such as the famous Archaeopteryx, which exhibits characteristics of both dinosaurs and birds, many expected intermediate forms are missing. In a gradual evolution of species, as described by the theory of evolution, One would expect the fossil record to be filled with transitional forms documenting the gradual change from one species to another. However, these transitional forms are rare and incomplete, leading some scientists to consider other mechanisms for the emergence of new species, such as the theory of punctuated equilibrium, which suggests that species emerge rapidly in geologically short periods and then change little over time. The main reason why the theory of evolution cannot be disproven lies in the fact that there has been no better idea on which the majority could agree. The theory of evolution remains the most widely accepted scientific explanation for biological diversity, even though there are still open questions and numerous arguments against it. The debate over the theory of evolution has led to the development of alternative explanatory models. The two most widespread theories following the theory of evolution are Old Earth creationism and the intelligent design movement. Both theories share similarities in their views and emphasize the existence of an intelligent creator who designed the universe and life in a complex and deliberate manner. Old Earth creationism accepts the scientific evidence about the age of the Earth and the universe, which is supported by methods such as radiometric dating and geological layers. It assumes that the creation of life is due to a divine act. Similarly, the intelligent design movement argues that certain features of the universe and life are best explained by an intelligent cause. Astronomy also provides insights that point to a precise fine-tuning of the universe. A simple example is the distance of the Moon from the Earth. Its gravitational pull stabilizes the Earth's rotation and regulates the tides. If the distance to the Moon changed by just a few centimeters, it could have catastrophic effects on the living conditions on Earth. Proponents of intelligent design see these perfect adjustments as evidence of conscious planning. They argue that the precise fine-tuning throughout the universe points to an intelligent cause that enabled the emergence and maintenance of life. Both approaches see the complexity and precision of biological structures, as well as certain aspects of the universe, as evidence of conscious planning. The fact that they overlap in many aspects shows that they share a common foundation in the idea of a creator, and thus represent alternative perspectives to the theory of evolution.